Hinchcliff House is a vital part of Quay Quarter Sydney, and more specifically Quay Quarter Lanes, because it adds the heritage story to the new buildings that are being created that is so important to the DNA of what Sydney is today. It's a really important part of our story, the wall stores, and how important that was from a point of view of what it contributed to the growth of Australia. And so we have put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into that building, and the consultants and everyone's just owned it. And I think that's why we've got such a remarkable outcome.
This is a great project. What we're really doing is we're remaking a whole city block, but we're remaking it the right way. We're leaving these wonderful old heritage buildings, not only leaving them, but restoring them, and we're adding these wonderful mixed-use buildings around. So the vision from AMP Capital to bring to this site, and of course the City of Sydney and the people, all the people involved in this project, is to turn that into this jewel. So highlight the heritage values that it was there originally, but tell it in a different sort of context. So here we'll be using it in a food and beverage sort of way, but exposing all that original fabric like we did back when it was originally built, when the wool bales were there, but telling it in a context around food and wine, which would be fantastic.
Hinchcliff Wool Store is a very important building. This is only one of two wool stores remaining in Circular Quay. This, the Hinchcliff's Wool Store, and the second being the Gallipoli Memorial Club on Loftus Street. Wool was Australia's most important export in the 19th century. There is a very common saying about Australia being a country that was raised off the sheep's back, and that is absolutely true. So when we were working on the conservation of the ram sculpture, we had a very exciting discovery. We found that it had originally been gilded, and AMP Capital were keen to reinstate that. And so the new sheep, which will be proudly atop the parapet, will be a gilded ram, a golden fleece indeed. We worked with the architects Carter Williamson and really sought to bring it back to that wool store character. So we made a very conscious decision in terms of how we worked with the design to allow for new components, but to really keep a very raw and a very open plan aesthetic.
So there's a codified language in the building, so anything that's black and steel and painted, you'll know that that's something that's been added into the building, and anything that appears as a raw fabric, the sandstone, the timber, the original iron, you'll know that that's the original fabric of the building.
I've really been so inspired by the way this project has turned out. You get to work with the architects, you get to work with the stonemasons and the conservators, and you get to recreate something and bring it back to life.
The extraordinary thing about a project like this is you have a client who bring not only extraordinary architects to the process, but extraordinary consultants and builders that all have that same shared vision. So whilst you get the normal tensions between different disciplines, everyone has that same shared vision of making this the best possible project. So we're able to work through the incredibly challenging and difficult moments to realise this great city-making project.
AMP Capital talk a lot about transformation and generosity, and that is really embodied in Hinchcliff's Wool Stores. We are really excited to see this building being given a new lease on life and to have a public use. The idea that people can come in here and, have a lovely meal, go to a basement bar, have a sandwich downstairs in a takeaway or something like that, where you can actually just come in and you can appreciate the space, and how much you delve into that really can be up to the individual.
When you walk through, the render's been removed, you see the sandstone, it starts to tell this incredible story of what the atmosphere is going to be when Scott Brown and his team do their magic. It's going to be great.